Namaste, I am JVN, Dr. Rakesh Sharma, Professor Department Organ of Medicine and Homeopathic Philosophy, Faculty of Homeopathic Science, Vidyapit Women's University. Namaste all of you. My today topic is related to posology. Now we try to understand what Dr. Hindman says in aphorism 247 about the posology. Under these conditions, the smallest dosage of the best selected homeopathic medicine may be repeated with the best, often with incredible results at intervals of 14, 12, 10, 8, 7 days, and where rapidity is requisite in chronic diseases, resembling cases of acute diseases at still shorter intervals, but in acute diseases at very much shorter periods. Every 24, 12, 8, 4 hours in the very acutest every hour up to as often as every 5 minutes. In our cases, in proportion to the more or less rapid course of the diseases and of the action of the medicine employed, as is more distinctly explained in the last month. So, Dr. Newman explained in this aphorism that when we use our medicines in liquid form, then we can oftenly more at short intervals repeat the medicines. Even the patient feels improvement. According to the fourth edition, when we prescribe a single dry dose to the patient and wait for a longer period because physician does not repeat the medicine because fear of aggravation. But the advantage of this method, when we prescribe medicines in liquid form, we can use and prescribe doses more frequently, even the improvement of the patient. The main reason behind it, we can achieve ideal cure in a shorter period, more rapidly. We can cure the major disease. So, in this aphorism, Dr. Hennigel says when we treat the chronic diseases, then we have to repeat our medicines in 50 days, 7 days, 10 days, 12 days intervals also. And on every day also, depend on the sensitivity of the patient. But when disease is acute nature, then we can prescribe our medicines in 6 hour, 4 hour, 12-hour intervals also. And even more acute conditions, then we can use in every 5 minutes, in half an hour, in 1.5 hour intervals. So this is the very important aphorism to understand and how we achieve ideal growth in the shortest degree. Now in the 247 aphorism in sixth edition, it is impractical to repeat the same unchanged dose of a remedy. This is also very important. It is impractical to repeat the same unchanged dose of a remedy once, not to mention its frequent repetition. The vital principle does not accept such unchanged dosage without resistance. Means when we make remedy solution bottle, then we have to give advice to the patient whenever he takes the dose from this medicine solution bottle, we should stroke bottle properly, give proper successions. This successions ranges from 4 successions to 12 successions, depend on the sensitivity of the patient. So let let's move further. The vital principle does not accept such unchanged doses without resistance. This is the main reason. That is without other symptoms of the medicine to manifest themselves than those similar to the disease to be cured, because the former dose has already accomplished the expected change in the vital principle, and the second dynamically wholly similar unchanged dose of the same medicine no longer finds therefore the same condition of the vital force. The patient may indeed be made sick in another way by receiving other such unchanged doses, even sicker than he had was. For now, only those symptoms of the given remedy remain active which were not homeopathic to the original disease. Hence, no step towards cure can follow, only through aggravation of the condition of the patient. So this is the main reason why we have to make successions before taking every dose. But if the succeeding dose is changed slightly every time, namely potentized somewhat higher, then the vital principle may be altered without difficulty by the same medicine, and thus the cure brought nearer. Yet, if not with this aphorism, we ought not even with the best chosen homeopathic medicine. For instance, one pellet of the same potency that was beneficial at first, to let the patient have a second or third dose taken dry in the same way. If the medicine was dissolved in water and the first dose proved beneficial, a second or third and even smaller dose from the bottle standing undisturbed, even in intervals of a few days, would prove no longer beneficial, even though the original preparation had been potentized with 10 suctions, or as I suggested later, with but two suctions in order to obviate this disadvantage, and this according to above reasons, but through modification of every dose in its dynamization degree, as I herewith teach, there exists no offense, even if the dosage be repeated more frequently, even if the medicine be ever so highly potentized, with ever so many suctions. It almost seems as if the best selected homeopathic remedy could best extract the morbid disorder from the vital force, and in chronic disease to extinguish the same only if applied in several different forms. The dose of the same medicine may be repeated several times according to circumstances, but only so long as until either recovery ensues or the same remedy ceases to do good and the rest of the disease presenting a different group of symptoms demands a different homeopathic remedy. For this purpose, we potentize a new the medicinal solution. The name of the bottle is remedy solution, medicinal solution, from which we give the patient one or several teaspoonful doses in long-lasting diseases daily or every second day, in acute diseases every 2 to 6 hours, and in very urgent cases every hour or half an hour. Thus, in chronic diseases, every correctly chosen homeopathic medicine, even those whose action is of long duration, may be repeated daily for months with ever increasing success. If the solution is used up, it is necessary to add to the next solution of the same medicine if still indicated one or several pellets of a high potency with which we continue so long as the patient experiences continued improvement without encountering one or another complaint that he never had before in his life. Or if this happens, if the balance of the disease appears in a group of altered symptoms, then another, one more homeopathically related medicine must be chosen in place of the last and administered in the same repeated doses, mindful, however, of modifying the solution of every dose with thorough, vigorous suctions, thus changing its degree of potency and increasing it somewhat. On the other hand, should there appear during almost daily repetition of the well indicated homeopathic remedy towards the end of the treatment of the chronic disease, so called homeopathic aggravation, by which the balance of the morbid symptoms seem to again increase somewhat, the medicinal disease similar to the original now alone persistently manifests itself. The dosage in that case must then be reduced still further and repeated in longer intervals and possibly stopped several days in order to see if the convulsions need no further medicinal aid. The apparent symptom caused by the excess of the homeopathic medicine will soon disappear and leave undisturbed health in its wake. If only a small vial, say a dram of dilute alcohol, is used in the treatment, in which is contained and dissolved through suctions, one globule of the medicine which is to be used by olfaction every 2, 3, or 4 days. This also must be thoroughly succeed 8 to 10 times before each olfaction. मतलब, olfaction is the another way of administering the medicines. Where the hypersensitivity of the patient is very much. How to make it? Made in 40, 30, 20, 15, or 8 tablespoonful of water with the addition of some alcohol or a piece of charcoal in order to preserve it. If charcoal is used, it is suspended by means of a thread in the wire and is taken out when the wire is suctioned. The solution of the medicinal globule of a thoroughly potentized medicine in a large quantity of water can be obviated by making a solution in only 7 to 8 tablespoons of water, and after suction of the wire, take from it 1 tablespoon and put it in a glass of water. This is stirred thoroughly and then given a dose to the patient. If he is unusually excited and sensitive, a teaspoon of this solution may be put in a second glass of water, thoroughly stirred, and teaspoonful doses or more be given. There are patients of so great sensitiveness that a third or fourth glass, similarly prepared, may be necessary. Each such prepared glass must be made fresh daily. The globule of the high potency is best crushed in a few grains of sugar of milk, which the patient can put in the vial and be dissolved in the requisite quantity of water. So this is the method of how we can prepare the medicine water. Every medicine prescribed for a case of disease in the course of its action produces new and troublesome symptoms not appertaining to the disease to be cured, is not capable of affecting real improvement, and cannot be considered as homeopathically selective. It must therefore either, if the aggravation be considerable, be the first partially neutralized as soon as possible by an antidote before giving the next remedy chosen more accurately according to similarity of action, or if the troublesome symptoms be not very violent, the next remedy must be given immediately in order to take the place of the improperly selected one. So, as all experience shows that the dose of the specially suited homeopathic medicine, means the minimum medicine, can scarcely be prepared too small to effect perceptible amelioration in the disease, or it is appropriate we should act injudiciously and hurtfully were we had no improvement or some, though it be even slight aggravation ensue, to repeat or even increase the dose of the same medicine is done in the old system under the illusion that it was not efficacious on account of its small quantity. Every aggravation by the production of new symptoms when nothing untoward has occurred in the mental or physical regime invariably proves unsuitableness on the part of the medicine formerly given in the case of disease before us, but never indicates that the dose has been too weak. The well-informed and, and conscientiously careful physician will never be in a position to require an antidote in his practice if he will begin, as he should, to give the selected medicine in the smallest possible dose, like minute doses of a better chosen remedy will re-establish order throughout. Means when a physician uses smallest minute doses of the medicine, then there is no requirement of any antidote. And if due to any reason some accessory symptoms are produced by mind, then these accessory symptoms comes down spontaneously without any interference of the so this is the great advantage of this of medicine when we giving in a liquid form, when we give in water solution. So these aphorisms are very important for us, and from these aphorisms Dr. Hahnemann learns us how we should dispense our medicines by which we can achieve our goal. Our goal is to treat the person, to restore the sick in the healthy condition, in the previous healthy state of the body. That is the, I want to say, the ideal cure. We can achieve ideal cure when we give according to guidelines of organon of medicine, then we can achieve our object. So thank you. If you have any queries related to these aphorisms, related to this topic, you can ask me, write me. Thank you.